Jim, if you'd be so kind as to take a seat, we'll get started with this test. This isn't testing you at all. This is testing the software that I'm designing to try to control the presentation you see in front of you.
Very good.
And I'll zoom in a little. And let me get back to my script. We'll be using Post-its in place of finger pointers. So you can place a Post-it on the button you would press if you were to do the thing that I'm describing in these various tasks that I want to track. And we'll number them as we go. So there's Post-its and a pencil. And your task, should you decide to accept it, would be to tell me what you would do given this virtual control panel screen and this slideshow to do a few tasks.
Okay.
Okay, so the first task is to pause the slideshow so you can read a particular slide a little longer than what we're seeing it.
Okay.
So as they go by, number one, where would you put it?
I would hit stop.
Okay. And the second task is to move through the slides forward by 6 slides.
I would press that button 6 times.
So if you wanted to, let's say, oops, there we go, read detailed stuff like that, that's how you'd get there. And if you wanted to move backward 3 slides,
I would hit this button 3 times.
okay. And the fourth task is to make the slideshow start up again.
Okay. To start the slideshow again, I would press this button.
Play. Very good. For the next task, we're going to change the game a little and have you look up a policy in the system. Where would you think you'd start to look up policies? You can reuse those numbers too.
Okay. To look up a policy, I would press search.
Okay. And what next?
That is a good question.
When you press that, the screen would change to this.
Very good. From that point, I would enter search text via the keyboard and press go.
So now the screen would change. Oops. Click that. Change to this. So it would have all of the various policies. Let's say we were looking up a policy on the protocols necessary for giving out your phone number to patients.
Sure.
So you would then type some sort of text using that typewriter keyboard on the screen. And what would you press then to make that thing search for that string that you've typed in there?
I believe I would press go.
Okay. So now that you've pressed go, you've got that on the screen for the results of your search. How would you select, let's say this one right here, where, wait. Come on. Oh, you're not focused. There we are. So let's say policy number 3 on the top row were the one you wanted to select. How would you go about selecting it?
I can think of 2 ways. The first way, using the interface here, I would press the down arrow or the right arrow to get to policy number 3. If it were then highlighted,
which it would be,
I would then hit enter. Coming from a computer background.
Great. Yes, you are a computer savvy person using this. So given that we've lost my place in where I was typing, okay, we got there. So once you've then hit enter and gotten the policy in your face on the screen, light up, you would expect it to just put that policy up on the screen.
Yes.
And the last task then would be what you would do to make the slideshow start up again.
good question. From here, I would think the most obvious thing to do would be to hit play to get us back to starting again.
I wasn't cueing you, but you were already going there. That's great. All right. So, how would you rate this control panel as the interface between you and the big screen bulletin board system on a 1 to 4 scale, with 1 being awful and 4 being great?
I'd rate it a 4. I had no difficulties understanding where to go.
Terrific. And what would you suggest for improvements?
Let's see.
Oh, when you hit play, this screen would disappear.
Of course.
And go back to the original screen. And the slideshow would start up again.
Other than refinement of the keyboard interface, maybe, I don't think we necessarily need a caps lock or a tilde key. It's minor adjustments.
Just
Maybe
getting rid of those things that are superfluous.
Exactly. Space key, maybe make it a little bigger. Other than that, interface-wise, it's straightforward enough that I had no difficulties and wouldn't need to make any adjustments.
So, if this were designed for the least computer comfortable of the organization, do you think they would have a hard time, an easy time, or would it take some instruction and fussing?
If it were the least computer literate person in the company, I would have them press help first. Maybe instructions on the screen that say, new, press help. Beyond that,
do you think a video tutorial from help would help, or would it just be verbiage?
I believe a video tutorial would be the best way to go with a non-computer savvy user.
And if you could choose either one, either verbiage or video?
That would be ideal as well for those folks that would prefer to read.
Terrific. Well, that completes my questions. I thank you very much for your help with this.
You're very welcome.